I'm Glo, and this is Partly Cloudy. Today, we're joined by Keerat Sharma, CTO at Flywheel, who's going to talk about how brands and advertisers can thrive in first-party gardens. Welcome, Keerat.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
So, Keerat, with the cookie-free future upon us, we're moving from third-party cookies to first-party walled gardens. And I've heard that you think this is better in many ways. Can you explain why?
Yeah, so much better. The third-party cookie era was really about gathering interesting signals about customers as they traversed through a variety of different publishers, and then to use those signals to figure out a variety of interests and then to extrapolate those into how they translated into product purchasing. In the first-party world that we're in, we have this benefit of just working backwards from the products that are being purchased and to understand the different cohorts of customers that are actually buying or not buying these products, and to do all of that in aggregate.
I completely agree. And we're already seeing that shift to outcome-focused metrics, both across first-party data and clean rooms like AMC. Amazon, Google, and D2C have always had this data, but now that the third-party cookie is disappearing, it is way more useful. AMC is very unique in that it gives the analysts the freedom and the flexibility to really extract their own user-level aggregated insights based on what the brands really want to see and need from the array of signals available.
Yeah, and I'm speaking to one of the people who's probably one of the best at extracting all those signals. Retailers today have these first-party gardens, and they offer a really compelling value proposition for the customer. In exchange for authenticating and being able to track those signals from a customer over a long period of time, you get really good personalized results. You get an order history, you get subscribe and save, all these cool programs as a result. And I think other first-party environments that go beyond retail are realizing that there's a really good value proposition if you double down on the specificity of the experience you're providing. I think Netflix is a great example where in exchange for creating an account and authenticating and watching content and seeing recommendations and seeing ads, you get a lower subscription price. And so each of these different first-party environments is going to offer us really clear and strong signal about what customers are interested in.
I love that. And what do you really think this means for media buying in the future?
Ads need to continue to complement the native customer experience that exists within each retailer or each first-party environment. And so that means looking at what does a customer intend to do within a certain experience? And if it's a search experience, then they're probably trying to rapidly filter and find a product, in which case it's a very different ad format than they're sitting down to relax and watch an entire season of some show. And so it's super important to take advantage of the formats and the types of experiences that you can provide so that they are really, really relevant to what the customer is engaging in.
That sounds like a much better user experience. I'm really excited for that. And this extends to how search will evolve with Gen AI, right?
Oh, totally. What a great example. We've been used to these large grids where you keep paginating or you add a whole bunch of filters to. And clearly with generative AI, I think we're going to see much more comparative set of results where a lot of that work is just done on your behalf.
That sounds super nice. I'm excited. More generally, brands can also get really creative in how they target users. So for an example, someone who has purchased from your brand twice but not subscribe and save, you can retarget those users. And that's just using those enhanced signals that AMC is really giving us. Or another example that I really love is being able to create a lookalike audience based off of users who have added something to their baby registry, something completely new. But before we wrap up here, I would love to know what is one area here you're most excited to see grow?
Okay, I'm going to cheat and give you three. I'm really excited about how first-party signals are going to be enhanced across multiple first parties. And so when we think about an example of that, I think Amazon Publisher Cloud comes to mind, where there's some really interesting work to bridge signals between what's going on really high-quality first-party publishers like DirecTV or NBC Universal with the signals that Amazon has. I think there's so much potential there. We already talked a little bit about it, but I think generative AI in search is really interesting in terms of how that's going to evolve. And the last area that I'm really excited about, but perhaps the most important area for me, is how is AMC going to continue to evolve? And I think today we've used AMC so much for measurement, but its potential, I think, is really there as a controller for media, where it's not just create a new targeting segment for Amazon DSP, but I think there's so much more that's possible. And I think that holds true for clean rooms in general, where they're not just measurement vehicles. I think there's so much controllership that can be established within them, and they can become really interesting vehicles to buy and manage media through.
For me, I agree with the prediction of more data collaborations. As you heard in previous episodes, that's definitely what I want to see. But I've honestly never thought about this whole controller experience. I've been using AMC for measurement for a long time, and a lot of brands have been asking me, what can we do with all this data? So I think your idea of being able to control your media more, even on the sponsored side, will be very, very game-changing in the industry. Honestly, we could talk about this for hours, but that's all the time we have. Thank you so much, Keerat, for joining and sharing your thoughts.
Thanks, Glo. It was great to be here.
On the next episode of Partly Cloudy, Andrew takes the hosting chair to chat about prepping for Prime Day, which is coming up, with special guest Jeff Ekiano.
Go, Jeff!
Until then, keep your head in the clouds.